Before the final storm, the ancient world breathed quietly, unaware of shadows gathering beyond the sky.
Colossal herds wandered across the plains, moving in ancient rhythms older than the mountains around them. Hidden within the forest's shadowed shelter, a silent hunter observed the giants crossing the open plains. A piercing glow spread across the heavens, brighter and sharper than any morning the world had known. The trembling reflection warned of disaster, rippling as distant thunder reshaped the colors of the sky. A blazing star tore across the heavens, dragging a burning tail that carved a wound through the clouds. Creatures fled in every direction, driven by instincts whispering of a doom older than memory. The falling star cast trembling shadows over the forest, turning calm branches into flickering warnings of destruction. For a single breath, the world paused completely, as if time itself awaited the strike to come. Then the sky collapsed in blinding fury, unleashing fire and shockwaves that reshaped the ancient earth. Waves of scorching force expanded outward, flattening forests and carving burning rings across the trembling earth. Ash drifted downward in heavy sheets, covering every living shape beneath a cold and silent veil. The ancient forests roared as flames consumed their towering trunks, turning the old world into rising smoke. Molten rivers spilled from fractured mountains, flowing relentlessly across the land in blazing waves of destruction. The sky darkened into a premature night, smothered by drifting ash that swallowed every trace of sunlight. Terrified creatures wandered blindly through the darkening world, guided only by fading instincts. Terrified creatures wandered blindly through the darkening world, guided only by fading instincts and distant Corson. Shaken to their cores, the mountains crumbled, sending colossal stone walls crashing into the abyss. Enormous ash storms swept across the dying land, burying every valley beneath swirling darkness. The last light of the sun faded behind choking haze, leaving the devastated world in cold twice. The last light of the sun faded behind choking haze, leaving the devastated world and creatures fled with thunderous steps, sensing the unseen terror pressing down from a sky growing ever darker. A towering shadow spread across the ridge, stretching like a silent omen over the trembling wilderness below. Light split the horizon with violent force, revealing fractures that stretched endlessly across the wounded priest. A burning star roared downward, carving fiery lines across the heavens as the world braced. Creatures scattered through the trembling forest as fiery light carved shifting patterns across the falling leaves. Ash poured through the empty riverbed, flowing like ghostly water, while distant tremors rattled. Branches shivered in violent rhythm as the approaching shockwave rippled across the trembling prehistoric canopy. Blinding light erupted across the land as the impact tore open the sky with unstoppable fury. Trees ignited instantly, sending roaring flames spiraling skyward as terrified beasts scorched plains, twisting the air as distant mountains melted into wavering shapes. Terrified creatures fled in desperate herds, trampling cracked soil as burning winds roared behind them. A towering wall of smoke rose like a living mountain, swallowing the horizon with suffocating darkness. Burning fragments rained downward in endless streams, streaking the darkened sky with blazing scars of destruction. Trees ignited instantly, sending roaring flames skyward as terrified beasts screamed through the blaze. Smoke swallowed the sky entirely, turning daylight into darkness as the air thickened with choking ash. The once calm river now boiled violently, sending towering clouds of steam over the trembling valley floor. Cliffs shattered under relentless tremors, collapsing into roaring clouds of dust and falling stone. A suffocating haze rolled across the valley, burying every shape beneath drifting blankets of settling dust. A lone titan released a final echoing roar, its voice drowned beneath the rising thunder of collapse. Cracks widened violently, swallowing forests and creatures as the trembling earth tore itself apart. A roaring wall of fire swept across the land, erasing everything in its blistering, unstoppable path. Silence settled over the charred wasteland, broken only by the distant rumble of a dying world.
The horizon shimmered like molten metal, bending and warping as unimaginable heat reshaped the dying land. Ash smothered the sun entirely, plunging the world into a deep and suffocating prehistoric night.
A small survivor struggled for breath, its fading eyes reflecting the ruins stretching across the dying earth. A small survivor struggled for breath, its fading eyes reflecting the ruins stretching across the dying earth. The world released one final tremor, a shuddering breath, before collapsing completely under its own. Silence returned, deeper than ever, echoing through the vast emptiness left by the fallen giants. Beneath layers of ash, the silent world waited, carrying the last memories of an age now lost forever.